When Common spoke about Jennifer Hudson, his words carried weight. Not the kind of weight built for headlines, but the kind meant to linger. When asked directly about the status of their relationship, he didn't hesitate. He confirmed that they were together firmly and without ambiguity. More than that, he expressed appreciation not just for her as a romantic partner, but as a woman, an artist, and a human being. He described her as special, not in a casual sense, but in a way that suggested rarity. He spoke with gratitude, repeatedly thanking God, framing their relationship as something meaningful rather than accidental. To him, being with Jennifer Hudson wasn't just companionship, felt aligned, purposeful. Then came the moment that shifted how people heard everything else. When the subject of marriage arose, Common was careful. He didn't rush the answer, but he didn't dodge it either. He acknowledged that marriage was something he considered deeply, something he did not take lightly. And then he said it plainly. If he were to ever get married, Jennifer Hudson would be the person, not a prototype, not a placeholder, not a symbol. The person. That distinction mattered. He explained that marriage, Tim, was a serious choice, one that required constant reflection and self-examination. It wasn't about romance alone. It was about readiness. It's about responsibility, about understanding the weight of commitment before stepping into it from the outside. Those words sounded like certainty, wrapped in maturity, and for a moment, felt like the story had found its ending. But love stories involving fame rarely move in straight lines. Almost as quickly as those statements circulated, the narrative began to shift. What started as admiration slowly turned into speculation. Headlines grew sharper. Social media buzz intensified. People weren't just celebrating the relationship anymore, they were analyzing it. Something had changed. Jennifer Hudson, T. winner whose career spans music, film, television, and now daytime talk, was suddenly at the center of a story no one expected. This wasn't about minor shade or passing remarks. This was the kind of situation that dominates timelines and fuels endless debate. Fans noticed it first. The energy felt different. Common had always presented himself as thoughtful and composed, a poet in both music and speech. When he talked about Jennifer, his words felt deliberate, almost reverent. He spoke of balance, of being equally yoked, of partnership built on shared values. It sounded spiritual, sounded permanent. Jennifer, in her own way, echoed that warmth. In interviews, she referred to him affectionately, smiling easily, calling him that man of mine. She spoke of gratitude, of letting God guide the relationship, of being in a peaceful place. But even then, there was a difference in how they spoke, Common explained. Jennifer affirmed, and that contrast would later matter. The public began revisiting their history, realizing this wasn't a random pairing. Both were Chicago natives. Both had spent years in overlapping creative spaces, music, film, charity work, industry events. Their paths had crossed repeatedly long before romance entered the picture. They weren't strangers who stumbled into love. They were peers whose worlds had slowly converged in 2024. When they starred together in the science fiction thriller Breathe, the chemistry felt undeniable. Fans noticed immediately. It wasn't just acting, it was comfort, familiarity. Ease off-camera moments soon followed. Sightings in major cities, quiet dinners, subtle closeness. By early 2023. The question wasn't if they were together, it was why they weren't saying it yet. When Common appeared on a podcast later that year, admiration became unmistakable. He described Jennifer as soulful, gifted, one of the greatest vocalists of all time. But some listeners picked up on something else beneath the praise. The story, intentionally or not, felt centered on him, on his journey, his growth, his arrival at this relationship. As if being with Jennifer Hudson was proof of personal evolution. Jennifer, meanwhile, chose restraint. While Common spoke openly, she focused on her work, her show, her music, her projects. When she did speak, it was brief and grounded. No grand narratives, no declarations designed for applause. Just calm statements rooted in faith and privacy. According to insiders, that difference wasn't accidental. Jennifer reportedly wanted to keep their relationship protected from excessive exposure. She valued privacy deeply, especially after past experiences where public attention had complicated personal pain. Some suggest she wasn't fully comfortable with how openly Common discussed their relationship. Then came the moment many now point to as the turning point. Award season had wrapped. Los Angeles was alive with post-Grammys energy-exclusive parties, industry gatherings, unspoken rules about what stays quiet and what never does. Common reportedly attended one such hotspot, a place known for turning whispers into headlines. What happened next depends on who you ask. According to circulating chatter, Common was seen appearing unusually close with someone who was not Jennifer. Nothing confirmed, nothing photographed clearly. But in Hollywood, perception travels faster than truth. The most damaging part wasn't the rumor itself. It was how Jennifer allegedly found out. Not privately, not through conversation, but through the same noise everyone else heard. For someone who had carefully guarded her personal life that mattered, Jennifer Hudson isn't just a celebrity. She is a brand, a respected industry figure, and a symbol of professionalism. When her name gets pulled into cheating speculation, the stakes go beyond emotion. Image matters. Reputation matters. Partnerships matter. Sources claim she handled it quietly. No scenes, no statements, distance, and then subtle shifts. A comment here, a joke there. Nothing explosive, just enough for those paying attention to recognize. Boundaries being drawn. Her message became clear without being spoken directly. Commitment is measured by actions, not words. Publicly, her team leaned into stability. Career first, family protected, private life closed. Meanwhile, Common's side remained vague, careful language. References to friendship. No firm confirmation of anything changing or staying the same. Silence, however, speaks as both parties said less. The public filled in the gaps. Blind items appeared, theories multiplied. Some suggested a new romantic interest. Others speculated connections too close to comfort. Nothing verified, but enough to keep the story alive. And then Common went quiet. No posts, no clarifications, no appearances that explained anything. Jennifer, on the other hand, remained visible, focused, thriving, composed. Her show continued to succeed. Her influence remained strong. In the industry, stability is currency, and Jennifer Hudson has plenty of it now. The world waits. Will they reappear together and silence the noise? Will Jennifer move forward visibly unbothered? Will Common address the speculation or let it fade? For now, the story sits unresolved. Two admired figures. One relationship caught between privacy and public expectation. And a question that remains unanswered: was this love moving toward permanence, or did history quietly repeat itself?